We're here with Mel from Taste of Travel, and today we're going to be making a beautiful soup from Lithuania. This is a beetroot soup. It's also known in the Russian cuisine as borscht. So what is really quite interesting about these colder countries, Russia, Lithuania, Ukraine, they all have different versions of this soup. And it's made from mainly root vegetables because that's what they can grow in the winter time. So beetroots grow really well there. Pretty much every dish that you're going to find in Lithuania has some sort of potato in it. They have potato pancakes, reconstructed potatoes, potato dumplings, potato pasta. You name it, they're going to put potatoes in it. So this soup's also going to have some potatoes as well. So we're excited to create that for you today. So first of all, what we're going to need is some vegetable stock. We're going to need 4 cups of the vegetable stock. Now today I've just used a vegetable stock cube to make up my stock, but you can pre-make your vegetable stock. You might have it in the freezer. You could buy a liquid form from the supermarket. This one's a beautiful organic one, as I love to check all the ingredients and things that I make. So I've got an organic stock cube, vegetable based, and we're going to put 4 cups of stock straight into a saucepan. So that's just cold stock for now. And then what we're going to do is to the saucepan, we're going to add potatoes. So I've got 2 cups of potatoes here. Just add those in. And 1.5 cups of beetroot. Add those to the mix as well. Right. So what we're going to do now, let's turn on our pan. Let's bring it to the boil. Once it's on the boil, we're going to go ahead and set it for 12 minutes and we're going to check how our potato and our beetroot are doing. So meanwhile, while that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start heating my frying pan and get that nice and hot so we can start sauteing our vegetables. So once your potatoes and beetroot have started to boil, we're going to let them boil for 12 minutes until they're ready. Meanwhile, we're going to start sauteing some vegetables for our soup. So we're going to start off with our onions. I've chosen to use the red onions instead of the traditional onions today. We're going to mix that with a teaspoon of caraway seeds for some lovely flavour. Then we're also going to add our celery, carrots and 4 cups of red cabbage to the mix. We're going to saute that up in butter for about 10 minutes and then we're going to remove it from the heat and start to build our soup. So let's go ahead and get our butter into the pan. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil to this pan. Just to stop our butter from burning. Just a very little bit of olive oil. There we are. Give it a little swig round. Let's go ahead and add in our onions. Now sounds are very important when you're cooking because they let you know that your oil or your butter is hot enough for the onions to really saute. I'm just going to pop a little timer on just to let us know once our potatoes are done. So let's give that a nice mix in there. Pop that back on the heat. So it's on quite a low heat right now. Going to add in our caraway seeds. A teaspoon of that happening. Beautiful. Bring up that heat a little bit. Let's add in our celery. Now this is starting to smell lovely, isn't it? Carrots. And finally, our red cabbage. Now they love their cabbage in these countries. The Baltic states love their sauerkraut. They virtually serve it with every meal. Every meal has some form of cabbage, sauerkraut involved in it. So this soup is really going to bring the purple colour from the red cabbage and the beetroot. Cool, so as you can see here, I've got my lovely sauteed vegetables. So I'm just going to bring those off the heat for a moment. Here I've got my beautifully boiled potatoes and beetroots. So I'm just going to take the lid off and I'm just going to drain them. So I've got them in one pot, my stock in the next pot. Use my nice oven glove. Perfect. Now using this same pan, I'm going to pop my sauteed vegetables into our soup pot now. So it's going to be the base. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add our stock into our soup pot. Starts to smell like Lithuania now. Beautiful. I'm going to bring that onto a very gentle simmer for 10 minutes. Okay, so now that we've let our beautiful sauteed vegetables and the stock simmer for 10 minutes, we're going to add our beetroot and potatoes. So let's go ahead and add this into the pan. Give it a little stir. Lovely. Now we might need to add just a little bit more water just on that, just to cover it really. So if you have a look into the pan now, you can see that not all the vegetables are covered with the stock, so it would become a little bit more stewy rather than soupy. So we're just going to add a little bit of water just from the earlier boiled water, just to bring the soup up a bit. And then, now for some magical ingredients which really give it the taste. Let's go ahead and add in a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Beautiful, in we go. Let's add in a tablespoon of honey. Lovely runny honey. Let's just add that in there. Let's add in a tablespoon of tomato puree. Let's drop that in like that. And then about 4 little twigs of dill. And we're just gonna take the goodness off that. So just sort of rip it apart and let that drop into the soup. You can really begin, this really beginning to smell like the beetroot soup of Lithuania now. So let's just go ahead and get all these little leaves off. They love their dill in Lithuania. They put that in every soup, even their cold summer beetroot soup, which is made with fermented milk. So that's really a lovely try in Lithuania. Not saying I'm a fan of it, but it's a definite try. Give that a little stir now. And that's going to simmer for half an hour. So we're just going to put our timer on for half an hour. And as I learnt from my good friend Wolfgang Puck, we're going to season our soup right at the very end as the flavours sort of intensify. So right at the end we're going to add our salt and add our pepper. So our soup has now been going for 30 minutes. Have a look, it looks lovely, it smells lovely, it's steaming. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little try and then we're going to start to season it. So we season at the end with soup. So let's just have a quick taste. Okay, salt. Let's go ahead with some salt. So we're going to sprinkle a little in the hand. And we're just going to season it from quite high up and just go around so that the salt is evenly distributed. And we give it a nice little mix. So let's give it a nice mix. And let's have another little taste. Black pepper. So we're going to start up here. Lots and lots of black pepper in there, so it adds a bit of peppery taste. Give it another mix. Beautiful. Let's have another little try. Just a little more salt. Again from a high up. Give it another little stir. Let's have a taste. Nice. So let's start to plate. So you want to make sure you've got some of the vegetables, but of a ratio of vegetables to soup, you want to have like 1 spoon of the vegetables, 2 spoons of the liquid. So let's put that nice in the bowl like that. And let's get some of the liquid happening. One more spoon of the liquid. Beautiful. Okay. Now for the next bowl, we're going to repeat 1 spoon of the vegetables. Go ahead, place that in the center. 2 spoons of the liquid. Perfect, just a little bit more. Great. Don't forget to clean your bowl as you go along. So I'm just going to use my tablecloth to just clean the bowl. Perfect. We're going to start off by adding a little fresh dill as our garnish. So just use your scissors to just snip little pieces of fresh dill around the soup. Now, something we cannot go without for a Lithuanian dish is sour cream. However, this soup is a completely vegan borscht. So we're gonna add in some oat creme fraiche. Okay, so instead of the sour cream, we're gonna have our creme fraiche on top. So you just get a nice little spoon, just place it beautifully like that into the soup. Same on this side, nice dollop, place it onto the soup. Lovely. And then just to finish it off, here I have some lovely cherry tomatoes that have just been picked from the vine, just marinated in a little olive oil and salt and pepper. You're just going to place those onto the soup as well. So a few of those just straight on, and we're going to have our soup be finished. Cool, so there we have our beautiful Lithuanian borscht, which we're serving with a gorgeous, simple rye bread. So usually they have the black bread in Lithuania. Today we've chosen to go for a rye bread. We're gonna have that and enjoy it with our borscht. Okay, so let's take a taste, my favorite part of the cooking, and see how this borscht tastes. Always like to smell first as well. Beautiful. So enjoy making your borscht at home.